Oh, Loktar Ogar, my champions. It is I, Hellcream. I'm back in a quick little one I just want to read out because a very interesting post picked up this week. I'm sure you will have seen it. I'm sure you've all watched Noble's video on it. Noble, whatever you fancy. It is that Alec Afrasibi, I'm trying to say that right. He's given some crazy information that's just come out this week. And it's very confusing to a lot of people. So what I'm here to do is just like perhaps douse the fire, or in that sense, talk about it and see what really people are thinking on it, really, because it's something that we haven't really touched up on. I mean, we can all agree that there is no time travel in this expansion. It's not time travel, it's a different universe. That's it, it's a pocket dimension. That is the best way of looking at it. So what seems to have happened here is Alex has come on Twitter after being asked a question. Archimonde is a demon whose demon soul is anchored to the Nether. The Nether transcends all realities. That is all. So, if I go show full fucking conversation, so here's how the conversation starts. Is Hellfire Archimonde from the alternate reality or multiverse? Well, is he from this expansion or the last is the best way to put it. That's not how demons work. Could you explain how demons work then? There's been a lot of changes and revelations since the Burning Crusade. It's not really a Twitter conversation. There's a lot of going on. The inhabitants of Ados, blah 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 blah. Right, but if we're asking if Archimonde this patch is from alternative reality or the one we killed in Hyjal, Archimonde is a demon whose soul is anchored to the Nether. The Nether transcends all realities. That is all. Now, Alex has been in WoW since pretty much the beginning. He was the quest designer in the vanilla through Burning Crusade and Lich King. He was the lead world and quest designer. And in Warlords, he was the creative director. So it's not like it's just coming from a random Blizzard employee. It's from someone who was established really hard inside the game. So that's one way of looking at it. So it's nice, hard evidence. If it does get retconned, then they're going to have a lot of explaining to do of why people were thinking this in general. It could just be an excuse for grabbing people, old expansions, etc, etc. You could think of it like that. However, it's just nice to think about, is he actually dead? Is he going to remember us killing him? Or is it going to be anything like that? Now, the post is a lot. I mean, there's a lot in this post. So the best thing we can really do is just talk about it. So, it was posted by Anak12911, lol. Thank you very much for bringing it up and posting, because none of us really were quite so aware to it, if you will. First post by Reme13. This makes no sense. Archimonde and Kil'jaeden were both just Eredor once upon a time in Argus, as was Velen, obviously. There are two Velens, one in Azeroth currently, and one who just died in the Alliance's campaign. If Archimonde and Kil'jaeden transcend all dimensions, then what happened to all the other Archimonde and Kil'jaedens that were all in the other Arguses? Did they just magically fuse into once they were ascended? Anak then posts, the author posts a really nice image. And you can find this on the thread. It's not an expansive about time travel, this is basically it. Kairos Dormi created a pocket dimension inside the main reality, and the Twisting Nether seems to, as he said, transcend all realities. So this means any dimension the Twisting Nether has access to. So it brings, first big, bloody big question is this Burning Legion invasion about us? Or is it about the Iron Horde? Has this been like a long time coming sort of thing? Or was Kairos Dormi aware and Rathian aware that they're not going to invade Azeroth directly because they know they can't win, but they're going to invade Draenor to bolster their forces? Maybe that's what they were aware of, and that's what Rathian needed to do. He needed the Iron Horde to buffer up in that sense. That's one way of looking at it. It's not the right way of looking at it, but it's one. Goes on to say, if it's a pocket dimension, imagine time and reality being a straight rope. Kairos Dormi pulled on the rope a bit to unravel a single string, which leaves the rope at the time Garrosh enters the alternate Draenor. The history of the alternate Draenei on Draenor is the same one in our reality. The Velen that died on Draenor was in the past the exact same character as our Velen. They just got split or copied when Kairos unraveled the string and created the pocket dimension, but only after Garrosh entered Draenor. There are no copies of alternate realities before that point. Mr. Slippery Fist, thank you once again for coming back. There's a long YouTube video here, and I watched through some of it. It's very mundane, like my voice. Isn't that hilarious? He says, this expansion fits perfectly with a manful's statement. There is only one true timeline. This Draenor is an anomaly, not a part of the universe separate to ours. The aim of us being on Draenor and keeping invaders out for two reasons. A, obviously, we don't want an invasion of things that want to kill us. But also, B, we need to realign the timelines, because if the rope, that is our timeline, the one true timeline, is loosened or held too tightly, that it frays, there are consequences. Draenor isn't the first time we've seen these consequences either. We've seen it numerous times in the Caverns of Time, where the Infinite Dragonflight have created a pocket dimension to alter events in one true timeline, because the strands of time all come from the same piece of rope. Let me repeat that, because he put it in bold. I have to read it. Because the strands of time all come from the same piece of rope. Cool. The only difference is Draenor is the biggest stray strand to fallen from the rope. Honestly, Blizzard hasn't covered that well enough, and that's why the expansion seems like a time travel instead of what it actually is. Which is ensuring our timeline is only played out in real time, rather than having the past altered by meddling and therein altering our present and thus our future. Relate it all back to the Infinite, and it makes more sense. They wanted Thrall dead, and so they tried to kill him when they escaped Durnhold Keep. They also tried to prevent Arthas from slaughtering the citizens of Stratholme, to change not the future of some other timeline, but to change the present of the current one true timeline. And we fixed that by ensuring the events played out as they did in one true timeline. Because if they didn't, there would be consequences for the present. Time would unravel, and existence would break apart. It's a hard concept to get your head around, but what is missing from this expansion that would make it easier to understand is a presence of the Infinite Dragonflight. Or at least more bronze dragons who are aligned with the Kairos having a presence on Draenor. Who knows, maybe that will come, but frankly, what is needed to fix this mess of an expansion, it's not meant to be an expansion about orcs. That was just a doing of Garrosh. The Iron Horde is an empty threat now, and the focus shifted to the Legion. And all this has happened because Garrosh killed Kairos. So where are the bronze dragon breakaways who want to write this, since it wasn't the part of Kairos had nowhere to be seen? And that's silly, because the bronze dragonflight aligned with Kairos would be very careful about what they do, just like all bronze dragons are, and would want to correct the path they originally intended to follow when unraveling the rope. They didn't just want there to be another universe, they had a plan, and now that plan doesn't seem to matter, which makes no sense, because the plan failing poses a threat to the bronze dragons, both good and bad. Anyways, until there is infinite presence in this expansion, it looks like it's just orcs and demons, and the story has totally strayed from the path, ironically. Thank you, Mr. Slippery Fist. You can slip your fist in any time. Hope that has cleared out a bit. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this, because it's bizarre, really. It's basically saying that the Nether is everything. So, technically then, the Burning... If there are pocket dimensions across the world, then the Burning Legion has pocket dimensions where they conquered Azeroth. Or pocket dimensions where Arthas never became the Lich King. That sort of thing. It doesn't make a ton of sense, but it does make the sort of on the chin. Right. Well, I guess I can handle that sort of sense. When it comes to time travel, which this isn't, but it has been misconstrued that way, it also leads into a lot of questions with storylines and things. And alternate realities are you may as well call them time traveling. You may as well call them time. Alternate reality is going back to a time. It's a different place. It all gets a bit funny. And trust me, I'm British. I've watched tons of Doctor Who. It gets crazy. I don't even follow it anymore. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because it's a very big subject that needs to be discussed. So I want you guys to discuss this. I want to see just a bit more like in depth with it, really, because the twisting Nethers. It's like the trump card, once again, for the Blizz people, where it's just like, haha, we killed the Dreadlords, haha, and then like, they come back 5 days later, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not fair. And it's like, oh yeah, you can't, twisting Nether. It's like, oh, god damn it. I do understand it. It's like, I'm trying to think of the best way. Like, the Lich King can only be killed at the Frozen Throne, like where he was born, sort of thing, because that's just how the magic ties in, which doesn't make a lot of sense. It just makes sense because they say it makes sense. So, think of it that way. So let me know what you guys think. Anyway, on an unrelated note, from that, it was my 20th birthday at the weekend. It was absolutely amazing. I got a Wii U, I got a Sylvanas portrait, I got a hoodie, and everything's looking up for me. I did MCM, the London Comic Con, and I'm going to be going back for then. Also, the next BlizzCon, I'm going to try and get to the one in Europe, the one in France. I would love to do it. Let me know, guys, what you think. I hope you all had a great week. I'm sorry for not posting. It's been a busy one. But there will be a video on demand on Wednesday next week. And it is going to be, well, I've already recorded it. So it's going to be out there already. I just got to upload it with my ultimate crap internet. Let me know what you guys are up to. Stay nice, stay fresh, stay creamy. Goodbye.